How's it going? You got to bear with me a little bit, 'cause today we're doing a little bit of a test. Oh, who's this? Sim Gamer. Oh my god, I was just watching you. You just finished it, I'm guessing. So yeah, just doing some tests on the stream actually. We're doing some multi-streaming. You gonna stick around or are you gonna go get something to eat? We're gonna go and do some close air support or interdiction. In the Apache, I don't know if you'd be interested in this. Obviously I think it's a bit further down the road for you. Yeah.
Hydraulic failure.
So obviously it's kind of like at the beginning. This is a bit further down the road. Is there no scene? What's going on? Let's have a look. Okay, it's because I changed it to desktop. I just changed it to desktop and that'll be alright. There you go. Yeah, I was messing around with some old games and they didn't, you couldn't select the executable as a scene, so I had to change it to desktop. But yeah, we're going to go do some interdiction. So we are flying out of Shiraz, which is in Iran. This campaign's been going on for a couple of weeks now, I think. And we're going to be pushing up to the northwest here. And we've got a set of villages and there's a road, a crossroads. There, it's probably like a checkpoint or something. We're going to go up and shoot some stuff probably, hopefully. So let's get the aircraft started up. That's all good. Engine 1 coming up. Let's get rid of the IHADs. Looking for 20% on number 1. And engine's coming up. So yeah, I've seen, I've been watching you kind of, just, you know, starting off, you're doing alright, I think. Let's talk about those pedals. They're just down here. If I can get them up. That's a pair of trainers I just bought. These ones. So, yeah. Gunship question. Can you actively fly at the same time as being the gunner like in the Huey? Yes, you can. If you go into the front seat, he has the same controls. I've not got them set up at the moment, but you can see he's got the cyclic, collective, pedals, and he has the gunner sight. So yeah, you can operate the aircraft from either position. So number 1 is up. Let's go for number 2. I need to do a bit of practice in the gunner seat. I did it when it first came out, but I've kind of forgotten it. Number 2 is 20%. Is a bit of advice, Abdul. If you push Control Enter, you can get your control surfaces up. It's really handy in a helicopter, so you can see where your stick's at. I've kind of been lurking in your channel for quite a while, watching you do some sim racing, because I'm a sim racer as well. So, number 1 and 2 both stabilised. Alright, I didn't see it because obviously it's not ultra wide. Cool, let's run the engines up. Let's get the APU off.
Rotor RPM low. Rotor RPM low.
Stabilised on the torque. Number 2. Control surface check. Looks good. Left and right. Collectives. Good. APU can go off. Stick the lights on. I'm supposed to do the lights first of all, but I forgot. My track IR is not working very well. Cool. This goes on, that goes on, that goes on. RWR sound is on. Master arm off. Radio select UHF 267. And vid. Well, we'll start going running through the systems now. So just go to vid. Put a repeater. TADS. Zoom. Weapons on. ASC. Status safer tool. We're in the air. RWR on. Search acquisition on. Weapon select. Weapons channel. Laser frequencies delta. Code is delta. That's selected. Acquisition can go to TADS on the helmet site. Cool. So what we're doing now is just waiting for the mapping navigation system to align. Which we'll see. Once that's done, the map will come up. IHADS, we can, for my helmet mount sight, we need to do the bore sight for that, so we can go to weapon again, bore sight, IHADS. Right, that's on, and you'll see like a little circle in here. We just need to get that lined up with the helmet, it's a bit awkward. Let's click the button, or thereabouts, that'll do. So yeah. It's quite a lot to remember, isn't it? You know, I didn't learn it overnight. I did it, obviously, when it first came out. There's still a ton of stuff that I need to learn, to be honest. So, we get rid of the chat. So, we got this. This is a really good thing. The old scratch pad to take down coordinates. This is how I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to navigate to the target area. So, I'm just going to go on here. I've kind of clicked this. So, I've got like a little dot in the middle of my screen. And then I can just put it on top of where I want to go and take down the grid. If I get it in there, there. Yeah, I keep the VODs up, but you know, are you going to get the Apache at some point? There's tons of videos. That's how I learn everything. Just go on YouTube, and there's loads of creators that do short little videos. Yeah, I've got the Black Shark as well. I'm not really. I had the Black Shark before DCS was even a thing. It was like Black Shark was just a game that you could buy. Obviously the same like kind of software, but yeah. So I've got it. It's weird because I'm doing two streams at once. Yeah, they are. Yeah. So this is the Apache. Yeah, wait for the cell. I would. That's my alignment. I think the alignment's done. Might just not have 10K mapping on that. Yeah, I never had the physical thing, but I bought it on Steam. It's actually on my Steam profile still. You think I can still install it? So what I'm going to do is start putting points in. So this is my present position. I'm going to put that in. The system's recorded it. It knows where it is. I can put that into the route. Add Whiskey 01. So we know where we're going. And plonk it into my flight plan. And now what I'm going to do, so I've got the grid there, 39 Romeo X-ray Papa 972 82640. I'm going to put that in, so that's where we're going to go, and look for bad guys. Cool, so let's do that. Get out of that. Point. Add. Waypoint. Whiskey 02. Actually, it'll be Whiskey Papa, because it's a waypoint. Whiskey 02. And we just plonk in a point, what it says on the scratch pad. So 39 Romeo X-ray Papa 9728 2640. Altitude saying 5785, cross checked saying 5784, so that's not too bad. And that's in. So we go back to the route, add point Whiskey 02. I think you can call these whatever you want. That's in. You got like a little waypoint there. So yeah, we're ready to roll pretty much. Just do some checks. That's good. Safeties are on. We just need to activate the countermeasures once we get in the air. We'll do it. Let's go. Turn this off. Control Shift X, get rid of that. It's left. So we'll be flying to the northeast. Bring in the power. Actually, weapons check. I think we're looking good. We might just change our armaments a little bit. Rockets. Cool. Just change that so we leave the fuel to keep our weight down.
Request rearming.
Copy.
Ground crew just going to work at the moment. I think they're going to change the rockets out, as far as I know. Let's have a look.
Rearming complete.
There you go, got new rockets. Let's do some flugling. Bringing in the power. Brakes are off. Power's coming in. 50, 60% there, lifted. Positive rate there, 80%. Bring it in and still gets a bit more lift. That's torque limit there. Around about 90, saying that 96% there. It's good. Let's do a bit of a check behind us. You do this in real life. If you're taking off, you'd always kind of do a spot turn to check behind you. Make sure there's nothing coming up from behind. Torque limited there, and we'll just fly away. In the cannon, I've got 300. So we can tell the front seater.
Pausing Hellfire.
Request rejoin.
I think in real life they can carry a lot more. I think they've got like a thing they fix to the aircraft. They can put like 1,000 rounds in it. From what I saw when I flew with them for real. We were their neighbours when I was in the Lynx. We slept in the same building. I did a bit with Prince Harry and stuff. He's in the same debt as me. Cool, so we're going to go scoot over this high ground. Show HSI. That's good. Get rid of that. Shame I haven't got any mapping around here. It's a bit crap. Right, let's do our offense checks. So countermeasures on, safeties are off. We need to go to weapon, turn the ASC on as well. Chaffs to arm. Back to TSD. The lights can go off. I've never flown an Apache, but I flew on Lynx as a gunner and an observer. I never got to have a go in an Apache. How's it going, man? I would love to have had a ride in one, but I never got the opportunity. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry about the ads. I'm dual streaming, so if you want to go to YouTube, I don't think there's many ads on there. That's why I've done it, because yeah, see you later, and see you, Abdul, in a bit. Yeah, so if you want to avoid the ads, you can just go to YouTube and watch it on there. Ask away, man. I love talking to people about Sims, man. So the HUD display said iHads. If you just push I, it'll flip it up, get rid of it, bring it back down. It is a bit of a clutter. Yeah, Twitch are going ad crazy. I've turned all the ads right down. I don't know if they are at that level at the moment. I'm not sure. But I'm dual streaming, so like if you want to just look up the same title, you know, Scuba, it should come up on YouTube as well. I think you only have to watch one ad on that to save you the pain. So it's quite hilly around here. No, it's literally on the real helmet. I don't know if you've ever seen them. You can flip them up and down, and they've got MBG as well, so you can use both. Which I'm not sure about the MVG. On this, it's got something called the Pinvis, and that's a night vision system as well. That goes through the. If you look at the front, it's like a little dome. And it basically repeats into the eyepiece. Seems like that's really far away. Maybe because it is. Alright. So we're in the Persian Gulf at the moment. This is Iran. This is a multiplayer server. The thing with this campaign or online server is everything's really far away, like spread out, so it does take a bit of time to get places. It's okay in a jet, but when you're in like the Apache or any of the helicopters or the A-10, it can take a while to get anywhere. No problems, man. Yeah, just you got any questions? Like I love talking about it. I don't know everything. I'm not like an expert or anything, but yeah, ask away. I might have the answer. It's quite nice around here. These hills, all this high ground is pretty cool. Not sure what we'll run into. We might run into scattered enemy units, maybe. Sometimes they do get left when the campaign progresses. I've been shot at by was it surface-to-air missile, like shoulder launched before.
Deslaving.
So the basic gist is once we get to the target area, we're going to like kind of loiter. We're not going to hover or do anything like that. We're just going to fly around, look into the towns and see if we can see any like vehicles or people moving around, and then we'll kind of come up with a plan on what we're going to do depending on the threat. There might be surface-to-air missiles, in the target areas, so we might not be able to fly around, exposed. We might have to get sneaky. If there's no threats, then we can kind of just do like attack runs and keep the airspeed up. Yeah, so this is the countermeasures. Tend to use more flares than you do chaff in the Apache, but we've got both. You can see them on the outside of the aircraft. If you go here, that's flares. If I go. See the chaff pod at the back and the flares at the front. used to change those in real life. Like, it's a big box and you put it on, you screw it in. Used to get the
Request rejoin.
because they got a shelf life, so we used to get the pilots to fire the ball off if they were going out of date.
Ready for contact.
I think I've got a video when I was a gunner of us firing them all off.
Ready for contact.
So that's somebody on the radio doing air-to-air refueling at the moment. I'm just playing around with this thing called Restream. It tells you, like, because I can stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, and you can see how many's watching on it. It's really cool. It joins the chats up as well, which is really cool. So you can see where people are chatting from, and I can see there's 6 of you watching from Twitch at the moment. So you don't have to have all the browsers open or anything. It's really good. Let's get some airspeed on it. It's a bit of dead ground here between the two sets of high ground. Just notice you got a bit of cloud, quite low level actually. Let's see what height we are at sea level. So we're really high up, 7,500 feet sea level, but obviously we're just above the ground here. That can really affect performance. Some people on 30 FM, we'll switch to this. So we got like different frequencies. We've got the VHF and UHF. Most people sit on the UHF because that's what the fighters sit on. For ground stuff, you'd go to FM usually. That's what the guys on the ground have got on their backs and in the vehicles. So as the campaign's been going on, we probably would have pushed through all these towns and cleared them out. This is a persistent online server. Still a fair ways to go. We've got 39 Ks. See on here, it's obviously from the front seat. Tell the crewman, the gunner. Let's have a look. So normally, if you're just like transiting, you would kind of avoid these built-up areas. So it's a bit dodgy flying over them. Could be anybody down, like hidden in the building somewhere.
And slaving. Out deslaved.
Should be there in about 9 minutes. Be less than that because we'll stand off at about 10 Ks. Not hearing much on the radios. It's pretty quiet. Sarah's pretty quiet. It's like we're the only Apache operating. thing I'm really looking for is radar contacts. There is red air that operates on the like the AI. I think we've captured most of the airfields, so I don't know. Yeah, I think we've captured most of the airfields. There's one up here, so we could get aircraft coming in from the east. Can it carry radar-guided or heat-seeking air-to-air missiles? That's a good question. So the American Apache, as far as I know, can carry Stingers, I think it is, or could. I'm not sure if it still does. The British one was initially designed that it would be able to carry a missile system called Starstreak. I think it was abandoned, so it never happened. In DCS, I don't think there are any. So yeah, the capability was there, but I don't think it ever really came to anything. So we're getting a radar contact. It's an E3 Sentry, so that's one of ours. I think the decision was made that it was just really unlikely that they were ever going to go up against like enemy helicopters. And if they ever got into a fight with jets, it would be over anyway before it even started. It just wasn't worth the effort. So we're going to get a bit of a climb going on with these hills. They're pretty high. Kind of getting close to the target area now as well. You can see it on the
Ready for contact.
on the map there. It's still weird that we don't get any actual mapping other than the 75-kilometer version. Is this up high ground anyway? So it looks like it might be. That's actually on the other side of a set of high ground. So we're going to have to slow down a little bit so we can climb up here. Also got a little bit of cloud. Getting misty. Not seeing anything ahead. There we go, just clearing now. So yeah, the weather's a bit ropey. Let's descend so we can see what we're doing. The terrain around here is mental. Like just these really wide, flat, open areas that are still quite high up, but then you've got these mountain ridges. So it looks like where we're going, I'm going to be in the clouds, so I'm going to point off to the right there, where the velocity vector is, and just poke through. So altitude now, so nearly 8,000 feet. Yeah, it's interesting flying when you're kind of having to go in and out of visibility, especially in a helicopter at low level. Well, it is low level, but we're really high up. Get the engine. If I can get the engine thing up. is it? Engines, yeah, the engines are performing, so NR torque's 75. Just need to watch your temps when you're high up like this, and obviously your torque. It's a thing you have to learn. It's really, I just find it really hard. Okay, yeah, so we've got like a little gap there. I'm going to go through that. Keep pulling, so loads of torque left. 80, nearly 90% there. Go to about 115. But, you'd get moaned at. There'll be like a little, I don't know what you call, like a little switch. If you went over in real life, the engineers would be able to see that you've done it. You'd tell them anyway, but then they'd have to check the engine after the flight. And the gearbox. See that the box has gone up around the torques. You can hear the engine tone going down as well. That's the RPM. So yeah, tops of the clouds are on the hillside there. We're not far off now actually, we need to be really careful. We're 7k's off, so we're going to go into an orbit. We can actually go to the top of these hills and have a look and maybe go into a hover, see if the aircraft can take it. We'll do a hover check. Start trimming the aircraft out for the hover. So, I'm just looking at the terrain, what's going to be good for me. Like 6k's, you could get engaged by an armoured vehicle at that range.
And slaving.
He's not seeing anything, which is good. So yeah, this is us in the target area basically.
And slave. Now deslaved.
Okay, we've got a UH-60 out there. That's one of our Black Hawks.
Laser on.
See him there, he's landing, dropping troops off probably. So it must be somewhat safe, so we're probably good to cross this ridgeline. I'm just doing a hover check to see what the performance is like. So the higher you are, the longer it takes to do anything because of how thin the air is. Still moving forward. That's the hover just about there. So he's dropped troops off. I'm really struggling with the rudder there. Descending, let's bring the power in a little bit. Let's try not to go into VRS. You need to be thinking about, oh, if I go to VRS, how am I going to fly away? Is there space in front of me to do that? You hear the engine straining, they're like, ugh, I've not got enough air.
Lasers off. Deslaving.
Okay, we've got ground, that's probably the infantry that the UH-60's just dropped off. We're going to transition over to the left here. Keep pulling, there we go, it's a low RPM.
Rotor RPM low. Rotor RPM
Let's fly away.
Rotor RPM low.
So it's not enjoying the thin air. Let's reset this.
Radar. 6 o'clock. Searching.
And slaving.
That's the UH-60, he's departing. We're just going to have a scan around, see if we can see any bad guys. Once we get into this base, then we should get somewhat better performance, but we know this town is kind of cleared out, which is good.
And slave. Empty slaved. And slaving. Deslaving.
We'll have a look at the map in a minute, see if there's anything obvious that we should be checking out.
Slaving. Empty slaved. Slaving.
So I'm not seeing anything.
Deslaving.
If I see any like clusters of buildings or anything, I'm kind of just checking it.
Deslaving.
Nothing. So what we're going to do is descend. Let's check the map. So we are up here.
Radar. 6 o'clock. Searching.
Okay, we've got the road. It's a Shar East.
And slave.
The performance is reasonably good as long as I got a bit of airspeed on. So I'm doing 50 knots at the moment.
Empty slaved.
Nothing on the threat. What do you call it? The RWR.
And slave. Deslaving. And slave.
Right, we're going to descend. Now the thing with this, just because the towns are clear, doesn't mean they're going to stay that way. If you look on here, they usually, oh, there's not on there, but usually there's like a base or something, and they send vehicles to like counter attack and stuff. So we might be okay around here.
And slave.
So when I was looking at the map, is this road here leading up northeast?
Slaving. Deslaving.
At the end of it, there's another red circle, which is something we got to capture.
Slaving. Empty slaved.
Gonna go down. We've just captured this, I think. Yep. There's a thing called West out here as well. I think it's this village here.
And slaving. Empty slaved.
You don't have a zoom available. Yeah, I've got it on the. I've got an axis map, so I can just do it with my eyes. This guy, once he sees something, he will zoom in on it with the camera. So I can do it like this. Have a look. That's cheating though.
Empty slaved.
We're gonna just patrol. Like I said, the nature of this is it's a multiplayer server, so there might not be anything going on. The enemy is pretty much beaten at this point. Where the campaign's at.
Deslaving.
Excuse me. We're just gonna go take a peek at this town. Let's have a look at this. So it's not that one, it's actually a bit further on. I think it might be up here.
And slave.
Ah, there we go. So Dushka,
Laser on.
enemy gun truck. So what we're going to do is transit to the right so we get a better line of sight on it. Not really seeing it. Oh yeah, there we go. It's actually, it's really hot, so it's blending in with the surroundings. We're going to take a shot at it. Got a Hellfire. That's 3Ks. Take the shot.
Roger, engaging.
So I need to just keep it nice and steady for the gunner now. Should be down about 5 seconds.
Lasers off. Target destroyed.
That's a good hit. What I should have done there is call it So I got on the radio to say my call sign and rifle. So the other guys know that I'm firing a missile. But there's nobody around anyway, so we're alright.
Deslaving.
We'll go check it out, see if there's any infantry around. So these are like insurgent vehicles now. It doesn't seem to be what you'd call like regular Iranian forces, like tanks and stuff.
And slave. Deslaving.
There's a few burnt out vehicles there already. Just see it short of that building, slightly to the right as well. Okie dokie. There's a bridge out there. Let's go to the gun. So I can aim the cannon with this, with the helmet. You see the gun pointed there? I'll fire it in. It's cool. The whole helmet and guns being connected is neat. Sure why I'm getting an azimuth limit there.
Slaving. I'm deslaved.
Let's check over this way.
Slaving. I'm deslaved.
So it looks fairly clear over there. Let's check the map. So we take a right up that road. There's like a little village in here.
Slaving.
This is a bit where you get complacent and you kind of just start meandering around and you get hit by something.
And slave. Deslaving. Deslaving. Deslaving.
Just need to be careful cresting hills. So obviously when you go over the top of it, it opens up like another line of sight. So you need to be careful.
And slave. Slaving. I'm deslaved.
UH-60 is coming back. So we're just going to patrol around, see if we can see anything that's a threat to the transport helicopters. Keep the altitude up a little bit so we're not skimming above trees and buildings. Give ourselves a bit of time to react if something does take a pop at us.
And slave. I'm deslaved.
These kind of built-up areas are really hard to spot vehicles.
I'm deslaved.
Just using my eyes at the moment. Let's see if there's anything obvious.
And slaving. And slaving. Deslaving. Slaving. Now deslaved.
Let's just check them out. So it's actually quite far up ahead, really, isn't it? It's not. It's just in this little town here, I think.
And slaved. Now deslaved.
These look like quite built up settlements.
And slave. Deslaving. Slaving. Deslaving.
See, I'm seeing dots, and dots to me usually mean, you know, like a vehicle or something. Let's do a fuel check. 1780. We've got an hour 46 left in the tank at current kind of flight, you know, performance, or whatever you want to call it. Attitude. Flying along. We need to allow probably about 30 minutes to get back, I think.
And slaving.
What's that over there? It's just a bunch of buildings that look similar. Not sure if there's any other target areas we can go to. I'd have to like look at fuel, but so this is the main one, I think, out to the west. There's one over here. The rest of them have been captured, so I think we're all good, man. It's maybe the last one. Looks like a wreck there. See some shell holes or something's been shot. We'll make a judgment call in a minute. If it seems quiet, we'll probably just head back and then jump on another server, maybe like Syria or something like that. Do some more close air support. I think this campaign's been won, which is good. What's this over here?
Deslaving.
That to me looks like a vehicle.
Radar.
And slave. Deslaving.
Searching.
It's one of ours.
Laser on.
You see how it blends into the background. It's I can't remember what I used to call it. There's a word for it where the vehicle is the same temperature as the ground, so you can't see it on flare. If he turns his engine on, then maybe you might be able to see it a bit easier, but if he's just sat there, it's like one of our own bases or something, isn't it? Actually, no, it's a transformer farm. One of our vehicles. Okay, what we're going to do is we'll head back over to where the waypoint was. Just check that we don't get engaged, and then we'll head back to the farm. Sometimes it'd be like this, like just nothing going on. Other times you come on and it's just like World War III. You see there's some other jets flying around here. I was saying that they're capturing another point somewhere. Can't see anything. There's a base there. These are what send out vehicles and try and reinforce and counter-attack. See the pods going off. They're like long cartridges. Obviously they come in a big box, but they're like long cartridges. They just fire off like fireworks. Obviously you get the chaff ones as well. So lattice D is all the way over here. There's basically 4 avenues of advance. So A, B, C, and D. I'm not sure. Oh, this is the front line here, look. We could jump over here and climb in an Apache, maybe. So what we're going to do. What we're going to do is head back, because this place is being shot up and everyone's being killed. So we're going to go back, jump in another Apache. But I'm going to take the aircraft back. I'm going to go DIR waypoint 1, which is the FARP. We're going to head home. I should do a bit of landing practice at the FARP. I haven't flown helicopter for ages. I was doing what was it Abdul was doing before on the oil rig. It was a bit of practice. I don't know if Abdul's still there. I was going to show him a technique of landing on elevated platforms in the helicopter. There's a certain way you can do it to make it easier for yourself. The mistake a lot of people make is they fly straight at a landing site. You know, you can do that as long as you've got good references, but when you've got something like an oil rig, you need to not do that. You need to fly up beside it. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen like carrier stuff with Harriers. They always fly alongside the ship and then shimmy over. Just kind of do that. It makes it a lot easier. Just doing a bit of trimming there. There's a big old cloud in the way. Let's get some airspeed on. That's about as fast as I can go. See, I'm descending. I can't really fly into this cloud either. See how bad the visibility gets.
10 o'clock. Searching.
So that is one of our AWACS. Still descending. See the trim now. You can see the I don't know if you can see on the stream. Yeah, you can. I'm having to trim to the left a little bit to keep the aircraft level. If you look at the, you can see the wind direction now. 307. It's saying 307, 14 knots, but to me that's
Rotor
very...
RPM low.
Oh, here we go. So it's saying the wind's coming out from that direction, which I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me. The aircraft is wanting to. Oh, actually, yeah. If it's wanting to roll, what was I saying? It's wanting to roll to the right. So that to me, it means the wind should be coming from the left, but I don't know. I sometimes struggle to visualize that in my head about wind and how the aircraft's going to behave. That might be surface wind, I don't know. It's saying 308, 14 knots.
Lasers off. And slaving. Deslaving.
Let's not try something.
Roger, ceasefire.
There's a lot of cloud. We're going to descend.
Rotor RPM low.
He's really
Rotor
low.
RPM low.
Okay, man.
Rotor RPM low.
I'm on the left of guns now.
So this is a really bad situation where you can't really see anything. This is not good. We've got ground up to my left. If you try and avoid this, IRL.
Radar. 11 o'clock. Searching.
Cloud's really bad out here. It's going to be a thing with a new update where the weather changes. At the moment it's static, but it's saying you might depart the airfield and then come back and find it's in cloud, which is cool. It's going to be awesome. So you can get to maybe use some of your nav aids. There you go, descended out of the cloud. Look at that. It's funny how quickly you can change. Stick the attitude hold on. Take my feet off the pedals. So it's basically on kind of on autopilot at the moment. Kinda, it's not quite. It's not as good as an autopilot. See the it just loses it. You got to trim it and then put the attitude hold on. And you do kind of have to put your feet on the pedals, unfortunately. If I trim it now, there we go. Take my feet off the pedals, and then attitude hold on. So even now it's wanting to roll to the left a little bit. It's just a bit fiddly. As helicopters tend to be. We'll just leave it like that. Hopefully it levels out. Turn us off. So yeah, I hope everybody's having a good Saturday. It's been pretty quiet at my end. I've got a few things coming up next week. So I'm just chilling out. I don't know about you guys. I get a feeling where I work is about to go crazy over kind of out on the approach to Christmas. It's going to be, I don't know. Everywhere I work seems to go goes mad at Christmas. Just chilling out before that. May as well do some fence checks. We are out of the AO, so let's turn the lights on. We'll do them partly, we'll go to safety zone as well. We'll leave the chaff flare on. We're going to be there in about 10 minutes. Let's see who's on the server. There's quite a few like fairly large streamers that come onto this server. Dom Noms, he's a pretty big streamer, I think. Tricker, I don't know if it is Tricky Tricker or Irish Fatty. He does streaming. So yeah, it's quite a streamer heavy server this. You can see it when the really big ones come in, like it just fills up. There's no spots left. Cool. We can go attitude hold off because we need to climb a little bit. Let's put my feet on the pedals. So we'll go back to the FARP, I'll land on, shut down, and then we're going to hop into another Apache on the other side of the country. And the front line's just moved, so there'll be, it should be quite action-packed, hopefully. You can never tell though, that's the only problem. If it was just like a set mission, single player, then obviously we could set it to whatever you want it to be, can't you? Hello, how you doing, Abdul? I was talking about your oil rig landings. I was watching, saying that there is a technique to doing that to make it a lot easier. I'll show it to you when don't worry about it, we're all noobs at one point. I was a noob when I was a youngin'. First started playing flight sims back in the 90s, I think it was. Probably earlier than that, really. I probably started playing when I was in the 80s when I was a kid. so kind of upper limits of you know, trying to make it realistic. It's getting crazy. I'll show you something when we're landing on, just to make your life a little easier with like landing a helicopter. 747 on a BBC Micro. I don't think I ever played that. I didn't have a BBC Micro. We had one in school, but we weren't allowed to play that on it. I think the only thing we could ever play was The Hobbit. I think my first sim was like on the Spectrum, F-16 Combat Pilot. I think I might have been about 7 or 8 years old, maybe. Yeah, people used to bring in stuff. We had, you know, the BBC. We didn't have it that long, I don't think. We had an Acorn. And that was miles better. And then we had an Amiga, I think it was, like an A1000 or something. And that's when people really started bringing stuff in, because you could just get stuff from magazines and put your games on it. That's when I got an Amiga. So we're not that far away now. We should be there in about 5 minutes. Just behind this hill, I think it is. Need to do a wind check. So we're still looking at 307.14, so we'll probably be coming in kind of like this, really. Actually, no, it'll be kind of a reciprocal, so the wind's coming from the front left. Which seems a bit weird. That doesn't seem right to me. Actually, no, it's coming from the rear right. See, I get confused. So yeah, we're gonna have to go and kind of overshoot and then come back in for the wind. Alright, let's do a proper fence check now. Safeties are off. Actually, safeties are on, not off. Let's go to ASC. We need to turn the chaff to safe. It is. Rest of the checks are complete. Lights are on and safety catches are applied. Visual with the blue smoke. To look at what the... Actually, this is an airfield, isn't it? This is Shiraz, so this is like a big city. It's one of the main cities in southern Iran. So what we're going to do is, FARP's over here. We're going to go into that and park. What we'll do is come along the runway like you would, like in a plane, and then we'll taxi off, because that's the proper way of doing it. We'll be going in from left to right, where I'm pointing now. Normally you'd be on air traffic, so we could probably do that. I believe it's 128. Actually 1294, see if we can do that quickly now. Comms, where's the comms? I always forget. Communications. 129's VHF, isn't it? What is it? I can never do this. We'll leave it. We'll be okay. It's quiet anyway. Normally you change your comms and you'd call in. It's dead though. So you've got a load of frequencies on here, but it's weird when you forget how to do something. How's it in rocks, man? How's it going? Ah, there we go. Manual. 129 decimal 40. Selected. Cool, let's go in. So
9 o'clock. Searching.
just call it. There's nobody on the radio, but it's if I can do it. Scuba 11, blind call into Shiraz, inbound from runway 27. So the guys on the net would usually hear that, so you don't run into each other. So I'm going to land down the runway, and I'm going to come off on the taxiway and hover over to the FARP. Start trimming the aircraft out so we're ready for the old hover. Get the descent going. Final sanity check, all the safeties are on. Actually they're not, mine's still armed. Why that's not turning off?
Roger, ceasefire.
There you go. We'll go straight down the runway and then come off at the second taxiway to the left. Keep trimming. Just keep coming back on the trim. I'm trimming quite a lot with right rudder there. It's good. Get them, Azul. So rudder pedals. I don't know. I don't know if you'd want to get them. They're quite low end. I had them for about 2 years, and they get really. The really bad thing with them is they get really dirty. And I don't know, man. I prefer the ones I've got at the moment. They're much easier to keep clean, and they work better. So there's some FARP over there. We're going to taxi over there. Let's bring the nose around. The one thing I would say though is the Apache is really easy to fly compared to all the other helicopters. I find it easy anyway. It's not as twitchy. So we've got 2 Humvees there. I think we were just well I marked the spot where I was so I can land there. That's where I came from. Let's just watch these airspeeds coming in. Whoa, there we go. It's a bit of a trim there. Gets really difficult when you're in external view. Trying to hover. So what we're going to do is land on, shut down, and we'll jump out. Mine's twitchy. I think one of the best things I bought for helicopters was A, the pedals, and B, the stick extension. just makes control inputs a lot smoother. So we'll just come around here, land on this spot here. You know, I still struggle sometimes. I'm not on a line there. It's not, you know, it's not the easiest thing in the world to learn how to do this. There's a lot better guys than me. There's some absolutely like amazing guys on YouTube that fly helicopters. Okay, let's come down here. That'll do. Keep going down. Brakes on. Yeah, desk mounts are really handy if you can get hold of them. Let's crack the doors. Cheers, buddy. What we're going to do, like I said, I was going to jump out now and get another helicopter. I'm not sure how they monitor the RPM when all this stuff is off, because you stick the rotor brake on. You don't want to put it on too early though. Yes, I do. I'm going to stick the lights on so people can see. It's pretty dark now. So like, let's take this, I can show you the mounts and everything that I've got. So you can see, I've got an extension. You can get them off eBay and stuff. There's a guy that does them. As long as you got like the Thrustmaster kind of Warthog or the Whirlpool, or I think the VKB do them as well. And they should all fit. I'm not sure about the VKB. But it just makes doing control inputs a lot easier. Like, you're not, obviously if you extend the stick it makes it, you know, a lot easier. I don't know what's the best way to describe it. Anyway, we're going to go and do another flight. Say goodbye to this helicopter. Yeah, I think they're just saying when winging you can use like the Thrustmaster grips, I think. So yeah, we're going to go and check what the fire is called over on the east side of the country. This is a MI-24. Let's have a look at this guy. That's pretty cool. So yeah, we're going to go from this side and jump on a helicopter basically. This is Giraffe, so that's where we're going to go. Giraffe on the old multiplayer selection. There we go, Giraffe Apache. I'm going to go give him a hand. Are you? I don't think they're too expensive, but they are. They're not cheap. I'm not buying anything else this year. I'm out of the game. I watched Abdul on his streams, and he's a bit of a window shopper, isn't he? From what I've noticed. We do all say that. Well, it's Christmas, so I'm gonna have to get something for Christmas, aren't I? Not including that.
Hydraulic failure.
We're gonna up and running quickly. I've never tried the Logitechs. These ones are a bit sticky, which can make it quite hard to fly a helicopter with them. I don't know if that's a technical term. I like my MFGs. Yeah, I think that's a good advice, Apple. It's just buy the right thing first off, and having to buy lots of things. I did that with sim racing. I kind of went through the whole ecosystem of different, you know, levels of gear. I should have just bought the expensive thing first and been done with it. Hello, bud. It's my cat. Start at engine number 2 on, and looking for 20%. Trouble is, like, it's hard to know if you're going to be into it, isn't it? It's going to be your thing. I get that. So yeah, trying to get Virpil stuff to the US. I think it's a bit easier now, but it used to be a bit of a nightmare. MFG is like Croatia, isn't it?
Rotor RPM low.
It's not too bad in the UK. Both my stuff, my Virpil and MFG, took about a week, I think it was, to get to me. I don't know why I do this. You don't need to do this in a simulator. I say like both of them were really good, like service wise. I was expecting it to be a bit dodgy, like getting stuff from, I think it's Latvia, I think Virpil, or Estonia. Windwing, yeah, Windwing is Chinese, isn't it? So I was looking at some of their stuff. I was window shopping, as Abdul says. Oh no. That's not good, is it? Having to deal with packages going missing is not fun. Hope you're insured, or they've replaced it. Should be on their insurance, shouldn't it? Really. Okay, let's start doing all the bits and bobs. Safety RWR. Ah, well, at least they found it. I had massive problems with Thrustmaster. Not problems with delivery, but my throttle broke, and I had to get a PCB replaced. They sent it to the wrong country. Freaking hell. Yeah, and it took like a month and a half to get them to send me a PCB, and I had to do the work myself as well. So that's the only. Yeah, the Warthog. Yeah, the I don't know if you've heard of it, Abdul. It's basically the most popular one you can get on the market, the Warthog. Pretty much a lot of sim guys use that. Yeah. I'm just setting up all the weapons at the moment. Setting the channels for the lasers and on the missiles. I need to bore sight my helmet. Bore sight. Eye hats. This is really awkward. This is the most awkward bit of doing the Apache thing. Lining this up. It's not too bad in VR, but that'll do. It's a real strain on my neck. Anyway, so we're just waiting for the aircraft to boot up, basically. We get rid of this on the scratch pad. Let's go into the map and see where we're going. We're going up to the northwest, up to here. So this is we need to put this in. This is the southeast. Like a little village. And now we've got the main town. We'll just plonk that on there. The thing I like about Windwing is their controls are DCS ready. Yeah, a lot of them. I think they said they were doing that with Thrustmaster as well, but I've never really tried it. I just map everything myself.
Radar. 11 o'clock. Searching.
I know they have like a partnership, don't they? There's a guy there. He's just jumped in. Okay, looks like we're aligned. That's good. As far as I know. Yeah, looks right. There's the airfield. And there's an airfield on there. Stick that in. Yeah. I don't really have many of their grips. I've got the F14 one, but I use the Warthog grips for, you know, the A10 and F16 and the F18 grips, and just put them onto my vertical base because they're all compatible, which is good. Right, what I'm doing now is I'm going to put in a load of the 2 points I took down off the map. Waypoint. Whiskey 02. This is a bit fiddly when you're doing it with track IR. Maybe Echo Tango. That's right. 5556. 6497. Let's check the altitude on that cross-reference, so 6625 and 6625, that's correct. And we'll put the next one in. Whiskey Papa. There was a real Apache pilot showing me how to do this quicker, but I've forgotten. So one of the guys came in on stream and he was like, oh, you can do it this way. Maybe Echo Tango? Yeah, I completely forgot. You do your thing one way and then it kind of sticks in your brain. 4234. Seven 430. Let's do a cross reference. 7214 and it's showing 7215. It's close enough. VKBs, yeah, I nearly bought a VKB. Yeah, I nearly bought one. You know, it was a toss between the Verpal and the VKBs. I went with Verpal because I had a lot of Thrustmaster grips, so I think that kind of just made my mind up. I might still get a VKB, I don't know. I don't really play Star Citizen, so I'm still waiting. I tried the free flight event and I don't know. It was okay, I guess. I don't like playing half-finished games. Even this one annoys me a lot of the time. Some of the bugs. Star Citizen is up there as a buggy product. Alright, we're nearly ready to roll. I'm going to close the scratch pad, don't need that anymore, I've got my points in. How far are we talking? 86 kilometers, so not exactly close. Let's talk to the ground crew.
Radar. 4 o'clock.
We gotta refuel. So I would really love
Request rearming.
a new space sim. I'm playing Elite, and I'm kind of done with Elite. I find it pretty boring. Yeah, when that was kind of getting it was kick-started. I was the one that I backed that. I gave them £100 because I was like, oh my god, Elite, a new Elite game.
Rearming complete.
Love Elite as a kid, so I was like, I'll give him some money. It's David Braben. It's gonna be good. And then I don't know, it was all right, but it wasn't exactly blow your socks off, was it? Okay, pedals are good. And let's lift. Bit of response there, that's good. Let's shimmy off to the right a little bit. Just so this guy doesn't have a heart attack. And we're good, let's transition away. We're just going to need to watch this cloud on the high ground there. I need to go play some iRacing at some point this weekend. I've paid for a 2-year subscription. I think I've played it like 4 times this year. Fence checks.
Radar. 8 o'clock. Searching.
Pausing Hellfire.
It's good. So yeah, we got a bit of a hike, 25 minutes. So I'm surprised, Abdul, that you jumped straight into the helicopters, to be honest. It's quite difficult to learn if you've never done it before. Yeah, I know you said you've had DCS for quite a while, but most folks start off with the planes because they're a bit easier.
Radar. 8 o'clock. Searching.
I know I flew. Okay. Sucker for punishment then. It's all good, man. Like, helicopters are well fun to fly. It's just the kit, really. To get the most out of it, you got to spend a few quid. You can do it with the cheaper stuff, but you won't get. I don't know. It's just. It's a bit like like sim racing, isn't it? The more you spend, the more kind of.
Radar.
I don't know.
Searching.
Don't know what the word is. The more fun it is, maybe. The more fun you can get out of it, because obviously the better you get. I know when I was sim racing, I had a T500,
8 o'clock. Searching.
and I was like, I couldn't work out why. Like, some guys were just so fast. I was like, I don't know how I can drive any faster. And then obviously you start going on YouTube and onto forums, and people are like, oh, you need to, you reckon? I think I could teach you how to fly a plane in about an hour, properly. But you know what I mean? You go on, you start looking at things like, people are like, oh, you need to buy this, you need to buy that. and eventually you've got a DD wheel, direct drive wheel. It's taking up half your house. Helicopters are a bit like that. Not as bad, because obviously you don't need quite as many screens or whatever. I can teach you that easy. It's honestly, they're pretty much all the same, especially the US stuff. It's usually your airspeed on the left and your altitude on the right, and then you have a compass either at the top or the bottom, and then you have your velocity vector. That's where you're going to hit, like that's where you're going to die basically if you keep flying in that direction. And then there'll be some other bits on it, probably telling you how far away you are from where you're going. Maybe tell you how much G's you've been pulling, and then there'll be like another subset of different menus for air to air and air to ground, and that's it. The trick is just to start with one and learn it.
Radar. 9 o'clock. Searching. Radar. 8 o'clock. Searching.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you know. It's like, you know, with you learning the helicopters, just do it in little chunks. Go onto YouTube, look how to do something, like, I want to learn how to bomb. Just put it in YouTube, learn how to do it, go do it. If you get stuck, go back to the video. That's how I do it. I don't know everything. Even this is quite MFT heavy, but once you break it down, it's not that much. You've got your map, you've got your weapons page, showing all your different weapons, and how much you've got. You've got your video repeater, and then it's like a load of stuff about your engines, your flight, fuel. Don't really need to look at all that. It's there if you need it, but I barely look at it. This is very high up, 6,300 at the moment. Like I said, the key to learning these things is just to break it down. I was looking at that as well, I was like, holy shit, where am I going to put all that stuff on my desk? Like the freaking throttle is gigantic. It scares me, like the mount is like hanging off the desk. Probably the desk I've got at the moment, it'll probably tip the desk over. You need to mount it to a rig, like a rig or something. I can't have any more sim rigs in my house. It's I live in a flat. So we are struggling to go over this hill with all the weight. Yeah, after that involves conversations with people that live in the house with you, though. I think you mentioned that earlier, didn't you? We can't be having any more big boxes coming in the house. Is it going to be a family meeting? There may be some deliveries. Don't take any notice of it. What have you done, Rox? Rox, you should go check out Sim Gamer's channel. He's a good boy. I'm crawling up this hill. I think at 100 knots, but you can hear the engine struggling. I cannot wait to get on the other side. Jesus. I don't know why I'm saying Jesus, because I spent well over that on sim racing. 6 grams in your currency. Shit, man. Yes. Hide the bank statements. I think I've spent... Well, the Housingville pedals I've got are worth over £1,000. That's just the pedals for the racing stuff. So I've spent quite a lot on sim racing. I can't do that, Abdul. I'm not a big stream. No, I'm not a streamer. I don't have a YouTube channel or anything. I think I'd be otherwise, but I'd get away with it. Ah, oh, that's really nice of her, isn't it? Holy shit. I think I'd get no, I'm not buying that for you.
Rotor RPM low.
Okay, we're struggling. Yeah, you know, taking up, you know, we're going to get a sell period coming up, so I might be getting the collective, hopefully.
Radar. 8 o'clock.
That's nice.
Searching. Rotor RPM low.
You can see, with the altitude, we're really struggling. We're above 10,000 feet now. I'm not sure if we're going to get over this hill. Like, this would not be a good idea in real life. Like, you would be risking going into hypoxia and blacking out, so... I know DCS does simulate it, so I don't know if it's going to happen. It might not be modelled in the Apache. It does in some of the jets. Like, hypoxia can set in above 8,000 feet, so... It would be coming. Yeah. It does simulate it. The screen will start going grey, and you'll start losing colour, and then your vision will start closing. Real life, you start feeling drunk. You feel quite happy.
Rotor RPM low.
Yeah, the jets do have it. I've seen it. I did it in it's RAF Henlo. They stick you in a pressurized tube and show you what it feels like. I think we went up to 18,000 feet without oxygen. There we go. Engine sounds a bit happier now. Not suffering from it at the moment by the looks of it. It's nearly 11,000 feet. So yeah, hopefully we can descend in a little bit. Not pass out. I'm guessing we are going in the right direction. Yep, looks like it. I think we might have flown over one of the highest hills in Iran. That was a bit of a yomp to get over that. Yeah, I was looking at, obviously when I was looking at my variable, I was also looking at Brunner, which is like industrial kind of sim stuff. And they have force feedback. But I decided against it because you need to have a really good mounting solution, and I don't think DCS supports it, so I didn't get it. It was really expensive.
Radar. Data card. Searching.
I don't know if you've seen Gamer Muscle, he's got a Brunner on his channel. And I was like, oh, I might get one. Okay, we have reason to believe supply convoy has been dispatched from the north and is en route toward objective along Route Delta, which is where we're going. So there's a convoy on its way down from one of the QRF bases. Brunner, B-R-U-N-N-E-R, I think it is. I wouldn't get one. I don't think that they're not really like retail. They're kind of it's for businesses and stuff. I was watching it on Gamer Muscle's YouTube. He never reviewed it. He spent like over £1,000 on this base. He never reviewed it. It's mental. I know it works with Microsoft Flight Simulator. Rocks doesn't surprise me. Let's just say my experience with the G1 and G2 weren't that great. My G1 died, and I've had issues with the G2. It's just the software seems to be really, you know, you can say maybe it's not Hewlett-Packard's fault, but they decided to go with that software, you know, Windows Mixed Reality. Mine doesn't work properly half the time. It's just you boot it up, like you turn your headset on, and it'll just hang. It'll hang for about 5 minutes, and then it'll crash, and then it'll reboot, and it works. Yeah, Oculus. I've got a CV1, and that was flawless. I never had any issues with it. You know, I never got the crashing with the G1, but they just died after about 2 years. When the screens flickered off, and then they were dead. And I had to get a replacement from Hewlett-Packard, which took 2 months.
Rotor RPM low. Rotor RPM low. Rotor RPM low.
It was a struggle to get them to replace it, and it was still under warranty as well. I had some yeah. Is that still under subscription? You still need a subscription to use that? Because I knew it was when I first saw it. You needed to have like a business subscription to be able to use it. Because obviously that's what they were at the market they were going for. I think they might have brought out a proper retail. I have seen them. They look neat, but yeah, incredibly expensive. It's too expensive for me, really. I don't think I want to spend that much. You know, Valve are bringing out their new one as a retail now. Okay. 2k. Still quite expensive, isn't it?
Radar. 7 o'clock. Searching.
7 o'clock. It's friendly, probably. Let's have a look at this. I'm just playing with my my dual streaming setup I've got going on YouTube. It's quite neat how that works. Yeah, Valve are bringing out one next year, so see how much that costs.
7 o'clock. Searching.
Is it Deckard, isn't it? The code name for it. I don't know if it's coming out next year, but it's definitely there. Right, we're nearly there. We're going to be 8 minutes, 26 kilometers. We'll be kind of looking in at about 10k's. Let's see what the weather's like, because at the moment, the clouds on the deck. Pimax looks like Cyberpunk, doesn't it? It looks like something out of Cyberpunk. They look gigantic. I don't know if I'd want to get one. I don't want this massive thing hanging on my head. It reminds me of those high-end MBG systems that like Special Forces wear. It's freaking nuts.
Fox 3 Bandit 003 from Turbo 8 from Bulls 32,000.
Radar. 11 o'clock. Searching.
Okay, I've got the map. So zoom in. So yeah, that's where we're going. Waypoint 2. We could probably just go to the left here. I think the main action is going to be at steer point 3 though. What's the gas looking like? It's fine. Mine's fine now. Like I upgraded for the PC. It's fine. I wouldn't do it streaming because obviously the OBS takes up quite a bit of resources, but it's great when it's working. It's just not the great, like when you're streaming like this, it's not the most fun thing to do. Like, you can get the repeater going into the headset with the chat and stuff, but I don't know, it's just not friendly to be doing it hours on end. I come out of it and look like I've been in the gym. I have to go have a shower afterwards and put your PT kit on before you do it. This is much more comfortable, just sitting back and with the track IR and looking at screens and doing it. It's more comfortable. What we're going to do is go to the left, not fly through this cloud. I don't know what's on the other side. Endurance, we're looking at 1 hour 33 left.
9 miles.
I think that took about 30 minutes to get to AO, so yeah, we've got an hour to loiter around. We've got some F-16s out in the area. We've got an unknown as well by the looks of it. That's another good point.
Radar. 9 o'clock. Searching. Radar. 12 o'clock. Searching.
I have this fear that I'm in VR and somebody breaks into the house and I don't know about it. I don't know if it's irrational or not, but I have this like just fear that somebody's going to come up behind me and yeah, do something to me whilst I got VR on my head. If you got kids, then yeah, you need to be somebody else in the house. Yeah, Abdul's had that as well.
Radar. 9 o'clock. Searching.
If you got kids, you need somebody else in the house to be looking out on the kids, don't you?
Radar. 11 o'clock. Searching.
Pets as well. Like I got 2 cats sat next to me at the moment. I think one's behind the box. Stick the box down. Whoop. I just scared them by doing that. But yeah, even pets, they jump on top of you and do stuff. And they could be trashing the the living room or trashing the kitchen, doing something. So yeah, it's just you don't know what's going on when you've got the headset on. I don't like doing it when I'm alone in the house. We can see the cats on the stream. Yeah, we can see one of them. She's just chilling out. They're nearly ready for their tea, I think. So.
Radar. 12 o'clock. Searching.
Yeah, I don't mind track IR. I've done it. I've been using track IR for 10 years. Okay. All right, George, just have a look, mate.
Deslaving.
The cloud is pretty low.
11 o'clock.
How high up were we? 8,000 feet there. Yeah, it's the performance as well, isn't it?
And slave. I'm deslaved.
So this looks clear at the moment. That's 8Ks. We're going to go to DIR to steer point 3. Because that looks clear down there. What we'll do is to deconflict, we'll stick to the out to the southwest, just in case there is anything hidden in amongst the slot.
And slave.
There's nothing seen at the moment. Not sure whether that is correct. Seeing 20Ks at the road for that.
Radar. 8 o'clock. Searching.
Is that 20Ks? Let's do a bit of a cheat. That's not right, is it? Should be 10Ks.
And slaving. I'm deslaved.
Okay, we've got ground targets. Well, I'm guessing maybe it is right because we kind of stood off. F14 on the 6. Could be a bad guy. Yeah. We're rapidly approaching a Mad Max, aren't we? I'm gonna bolt some spikes onto my car. Ground AP. Oh, there's a ton of stuff up here. Tanks. Alright, let's start. Actually, AAA. We're trying to hit some of these AAA units.
Blazing.
Jeez. Things aren't too bad in the UK at the moment, but when everybody starts getting cold and don't have any petrol, that's not good, is it? Okay, we're about to get some action. So what I'm doing is now prioritizing what's most likely to kill me, which is anti-aircraft stuff. We're doing our bit as well, keeping the other guys safer.
Lasers off.
Got AAA. I'm looking for SAMs. SAMs is the main thing, but AAA is just as bad sometimes. So yeah, we'll go
Laser
for that.
on.
I don't know why I keep looking and I can zoom in. Looks like there's a bunch of vehicles on the outskirts of town. We'll go and oh, a bit of a hiccup then. We'll go in and shoot them up. Not picking up any radars, that's good. So that's at 10Ks. That's a good box. We'll go for the shot ourselves. Actually, we'll let the gunner do it. The AI gunner won't engage over 8Ks as far as I know, unless it's been updated.
Negative, that's too far.
Yeah, he doesn't like it. So we've got 900 meters to run, and then we'll fire a Hellfire in. We'll stay like this. We'll stay like gun runs. We'll go to a different frequency for the FM, and we'll call our shots. 7Ks. Rifle Lattice D.
Firing.
I'm not sure if this is going to hit. It's a bit obscured. Seconds. It's a miss. We'll come around. It's the thing with George, you'll spot a target and sometimes you'll just lock on, and if you lose line of sight, then obviously you don't hit the target. Yeah, you said that, Rox. You were doing Huey, weren't you? So we're just going to do these gun runs, staying out of range of the AAA. We'll come back around. So there's this town here. There's a load of armoured vehicles out there. You see them there, look. We do want to go for the threat tree, so we're going to hit the anti-aircraft stuff first. We're going to come back around.
Lasers off. Deslaving.
See if we can hit one of these tanks.
Laser on.
That looks like it's in the open. Let's take a shot. KA3. Well, it's an upgrade, so yeah, I probably will. Yeah. Rifle Lattice D.
Roger, engaging.
Yeah, they're just updating it, so hopefully it'll be fairly cheap. I've already got the KA2, so or the KA50, Black Shark 2. Just keeping the aircraft steady. 5 seconds.
Lasers off.
That's a good hit.
Target destroyed.
Braking. I was a bit, I don't know, disappointed when I seen that. Not that they're doing it, but I want some news on the dynamic campaign and stuff. Some of the more fundamental stuff that they said they're working on. It just seems to be aircraft related now at the moment. Obviously there's an update coming out. Excuse me. Yeah, I do as well. I want the performance to be improved, and I want that dynamic campaign. The two things I want. I'm waiting for a thing called Liberation to get updated. I was playing that, and it's a bit buggy, but there's a big update coming out soon, hopefully. So you can do some offline dynamic campaign stuff.
Deslaving.
It's on GitHub if you want to check it out. T72.
Laser on.
It's in the open, good shoot. Rifle Lattice D.
Roger, engaging.
Seconds. Just keep the Keep the aircraft steady. Struggling a bit there. Five seconds.
Lasers off.
Good hit.
Those are good hits.
Yeah, cheers Abdul, man. I enjoyed your stream. I'll check you out. If you're streaming again this weekend, I'll check in. Maybe do some sim racing. Have a good one, man. Yeah, I need to check that actually on GitHub, see if there's been, see how they're getting along, see if the liberation is close. I said it had like 10 points they had to do before they get the release out the window, or the release ready to go live. So we're waiting for 6.0. 5.2's out at the moment. It's been around for about a year. It's got a few bugs which are a bit annoying.
Slaving. I'm deslaved.
They need to be, man. They released a thing showing screenshots of it.
Blazing.
Good on the line of sight. Rifle lattice D.
Engaging.
Seconds.
Lasers off. Good effects on target.
Good hits. Let's check a weapons check. I've got 4 Hellfires left. Need to be looking for that anti-aircraft stuff, really. There's another Apache there. The cloud is so low. Well, it's not low, but it's on the deck because obviously we're so high up. Yeah, I know.
Slaving. I'm deslaved.
It's the business though, isn't it? It's the business. That's how they make money. Just get planes out.
Blazing.
It's the same as Star Citizen. Rifle lattice D.
Engaging.
Gotta sell them planes. Climbing.
Lasers off.
Good shot.
Target destroyed.
I want to get in close. I want to get in with a cannon, but we need to get rid of the T-72s because they got missiles on them.
Slaving. I'm deslaved.
KS-19. That is a anti-aircraft gun, I think.
Blazing.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go for it. I think the KS-19 is some sort of anti-aircraft gun. Rifle lattice D.
Roger, engaging.
Just trying to get myself set up. 10 seconds. Climbing. 4Ks there. It's a miss. It's a miss, it's a miss. We're getting pretty close there, so we need to kind of back off a little bit. Do need to hit that gun, really. We could do kind of a hover shoot, maybe. If there's no missiles. We know there's T-72s, that's the only thing. I'm not sure if I destroyed them all. Let's get a descent going.
Radar. 11 o'clock. Searching.
Just mix it up a little bit, rather than just doing gun runs all the time. Let's get into a hover. Maybe not a 400-foot hover, but... Let's bring the power in. Let's not hit the ground. It looks like he's got it, that's good. Just need to trim her out a little bit. Time to start working hard. Right. So this is obviously a lot harder than just flying at it. The hover is not easy. The main thing is the hovering's easy, but keeping the nose stable is the hard part. You see we're side slipping to the right there. And we're going backwards a little bit now as well. Because I can engage hover mode. The thing up here is the winds are quite strong as well. We're going back, man. Let's go down. It's 200 feet there. Let's keep coming down. It is easier to hover when you're closer to the ground, but the thing we're struggling with is the wind. 309 and 13 knots. So the wind's actually kind of on the nose there, slightly to the left. Now the danger here is if the tanks have got anti-tank guided missiles, we are suddenly a stationary target, which isn't good, but I'm going to take a chance.
Roger, engaging.
Rifle, last D. So we just need to hold the hover. I don't think he's even pointing at a target now. No. Getting blown by the wind.
Lasers off. Blazing.
I can't see that. Yeah, the hovering is not working out. I think I need to come up a little bit. Let's try a low owl shot.
Lasers off. Setting trajectory to low. Setting to high.
Rifle, lattice D.
Engaging.
I'm not sure if this even works. There we go.
Roger, engaging.
I'm not sure how the lock on after launch really works, to be honest. I don't know if it even does work in DCS at the moment. So we got...
Laser on.
Oh, shit, the fucking hover is so hard because we're high up and the wind's so high. We're gonna go take some rocket shots at this guy. I think there's another tank in there.
Lasers off.
Yeah, there is. T-55 with a bunch of infantry.
Laser on.
We've got to do a run in. There's some jets up there as well. By the looks of it. F4 is right, we need to get that back out of here. There's a bunch of them. So we've basically got two Iranian F4s that have just come into the AO. Oh my god. I need to readjust my seat. That's cool. Yeah, we need to not be tangling with these guys. We don't have any jets. We're gonna have to go home. Otherwise we're gonna die. What's this guy's call sign? Petros. Petros, if you're on comms, we've got two F4s just closing from the north. That's a fight I can't win, unfortunately. Let's try not to hit the ground. So yeah, we need to just stay on the deck and not be seen. Because if we are, it's game over. They will smash us.
Lasers off. Wasden gun.
The only saving grace is that the F4's got quite an old radar on it. And it's not got AMRAM or anything like that, it's got the Sparrow. So
Radar. 5 o'clock. Searching.
that's the F4. 2 F4s. His most likely ways to attack us is with like IR, probably. If he can get a visual on me, he'd struggle to get Sparrow off. Particularly with me being this low. We just gotta stay on the deck. It might sound cruel, but he's probably gonna pick up that other Apache that's hovering there, maybe.
Marco 1-1, Colt 1-2, request rejoin.
Is that like 4?
Missile aft.
Fuck.
Marco 1-1, Colt 1-2, request rejoin.
I'm not being tracked, but it doesn't mean it's not a missile aimed at me. So it could be a Sidewinder. Not seeing anything. We just need to get a move on. Let's go.
Missile aft.
Nothing seen. I need to get my feet. It's a really bad fly now. So yeah, we're running. We can't fight them unless they get really stupid and they get on the deck and they start flying really slowly. The best hope would be to try and hit them with a Hellfire, maybe. But I don't have any left. But they'd get their missiles off a long time before that, I'd imagine. I think there's 3 F4s out there. I didn't notice because I see it in the contrails and I was like, oh, what's that? Is that one of ours? And I looked at the RWR. You can see the F4 there. Try not to skyline myself. So yeah, it should be an interesting flight back if I manage it. Stay low, baby.
Missile aft.
Chaff's not coming up for some reason. I think it's on acquisition, maybe? It's unsafe, that's why. I may just visually give myself away by firing a flare, but hopefully they didn't see it. I think Petros is actually firing Hellfires, so that might be what the missile warning is coming off as. Comes the low cloud. The F4's disappeared. Well, the radars, the emitters have disappeared, but I'm certain it's still there. Okay, so visibility is going to drop for a second. Hopefully we can just punch through. I can see the high ground through the cloud. We'll just aim for that. It's always your test. Can you see through the cloud is a good test. So no, you're not going to go IMC, invert meteorological condition. I think that's what that stands for. From memory, from a long time ago. There we go, punch straight through. Clouds are weird when you're up high and you're walking through cloud. Nothing on the RWR. Just trim the aircraft back out. I think we might be in the clear, but you never know with jets. They can be on top of you in no time. You know, I'm only doing 125 knots now. The old F4s, they can motor. I'm having to think about what I'm going to have for my tea. I might have to drive somewhere to go pick something up.
692, check in. Let us know to the strike. Someone in the northeast MSR.
Radar. 1 o'clock. Searching.
It's ours.
Copy, thanks. We'll be looking for it.
Magic 1-1. Chevy 3-1. Request bogey dope. Magic 1-1. Chevy 3-1. Request picture.
Oh, she's struggling. It's that 10,000 foot boundary it hates. Well, anything above kind of 8 grand is
Rotor RPM low.
a struggle. At least I avoided all this. It was a good idea to go around to the right. Can't wait till all this stuff starts moving. Like, you can have different layers of cloud, and it's going to be moving around the map. That's going to be really neat. I'm not sure if it interacts with the terrain. I think it's just going to go through the terrain, I'd imagine. It's still cool. No, real life, it kind of sits at the bottom of valleys and stuff. If you're really high up. So I think Microsoft Flight Simulator is really good with its dynamic weather. It's pretty cool. But you know, it's gonna be getting better. I'd imagine a few weeks when 2.8 comes out. It'd be nice to have that change when you've gone off on a long sortie. Like now, we could be going back and the fire might be kind of completely clouded in. I wonder if they're going to bring an ATIS. I know there's a plugin you can get. I've got it actually installed at the moment, but I've never used it. The guys that make the missions have to kind of they have to put that into their mission build or whatever it is when they're making the mission. But right now, I would be tuning into
Radar. 2 o'clock. Searching.
the fart frequency, whatever their ATIS was, if they had it. See if I can get a weather report about what's going on back there. It just makes it more interesting when you've got more variables going on. And
Radar. 12 o'clock. Searching.
I've got a dot on the nose. What is that?
Deslaving.
Level 6 from the tunnel. Go correct and turn back towards Charlie for a little bit. And then level 2 down side towards
Blazed and stored.
I don't know what that is. It's a helicopter by the looks of it.
Monster bullseye.
Could be a plane.
Those ones is 605.
Not sure what it is. This is propeller, but that's a jet to me. It's an F-16. You can't pick up my laser, thankfully. If it's an A-10, they can detect if they're having a laser fired at them. Like a lot of tanks do nowadays as well. He is probably fully aware of what those F4s are doing. It could be an F-18 actually.
100 or 010?
Rotor RPM low. Rotor RPM low. Rotor RPM low.
Just watching that NR. It's at 97% at the moment. Let's back off a little bit.
Magic 1-1. Chevy 3-1. Request bogey dope.
You don't really want it below 100%.
You're on the 6 tally. Single group approximately 10,000. Tracking north. Near northeast MSR.
Okay, I think we are safe to kind of descend now. Let's get into this valley.
I don't think he's worried, he's going cruising speed. Unable to ID.
Pure hoofing at 147 knots there.
Russian standby, looks like a helicopter. Yeah, let me get lucky. I think one non-combat is
like see when the gun.
Charlie, MI-24. Single ship.
Something going on, isn't there?
You're gonna...
So 5 minutes till we get back to the FARP. We'll be shut down and tier medals. Visual to smoke. Certainly quite interesting with the low cloud and obviously high terrain. Having to kind of work around it was fun. Something different, you don't usually see it in DCS too much.
Radar. 2 o'clock. Searching.
Let's do some fence checks. Yeah, well, I just bugged out. As soon as I seen his F4s on the RWR, I was like, not messing with that. I couldn't see any friendlies, like any friendly fighters, so we would get splattered if they seen us, so I bugged out. I fired on my Hellfires. It would have been risky going in there with rockets anyway with the T-70, I think that's a T-72 there. It's definitely a T-55. And there was still an anti-aircraft gun down there, at least one. So kind of decided against it. We're nearly there. 4 minutes and we'll be back at the FARP. There was another Apache there and he wasn't responding on the radio, so I'm not sure if he made it. So that looks quite pixelated, really, doesn't it? It doesn't really bother me. I'm not really. I don't get upset when the graphics aren't like super top notch, but it's quite noticeable how low res that texture is. Maybe they didn't put so much effort into this area of the map. Of course, man, yeah, give us a shout. I'm usually on the weekends most of the time, but you seem to be always here anyway, so if you see me on stream, just give us a shout, jump on the server or whatever. I've had other guys who've like been watching the stream and they'll hop on. Yeah, I'll probably be on tomorrow. I don't know about tonight. We'll have a look and see what's going on. Not sure what's going on tonight. Maybe there's something on TV. If you're not following Sim Gamer, no, go check that guy out. He's really he's a nice bloke. He does a lot of sim racing. He's just started doing DCS as well. I was on his channel. Cool, man. Yeah, just you see me on, just give us a shout. And I'm usually on Grayflag or what else do I do? I've done like the Enigma servers as well. Into older stuff. Yeah, Grayflag's mine. Kind of go-to. Okay, our fuel low. That's fine. Got plenty of gas. The forward one will start going as well now. So let's get set up for the approach. Let's check the wind. It should be like 300 something, 307 for 11 knots. Out to our rear right. Yeah, I don't mind it. It's just a bit, people just constantly going on the tripwires. You know, the AWACS, they just home in on you. You don't stand a chance, do you? I think they should just get rid of that.
Radar, 2 o'clock, searching.
I'm not going to land on the pads, I don't think. We can give it a try. It depends how big the pads are. Some of them, I think there's a small pad and there's a big pad. I don't know how big these pads are. There's a freaking Harrier down there. I like the PvE. I like PvP as well, as long as it's not just a freaking AWACS fest. Start trimming. I'm not really into airquake either. It doesn't really do it for me. I'm gonna land short, kind of just to the left of the Harrier. Yeah, I like PvE.
Radar, 9 o'clock, searching.
I just like a persistent campaign, really. I'd like it if it tracked your kills and stuff. That would be cool. If somehow they could find a way of doing that, but I'd imagine it'd be quite hard. What we'll do is go to the... Which way is that Harrier pointing? Yeah, we'll go behind it. So you had like a record of how many... I know Blue Flag does it, I think. So that's PvP though. So we'll go to the right of the tanker here. Somewhat realistically. Set up. It's cool that you can land Harriers and get refueled. I don't mind the fact that they're old. It's just a tripwire. The you know what, the AWACS. It's a really cool kind of piece of tech, but and I know they had them in real life, like the you know the Russians had.
I believe that's USC on my data link, I'm not sure.
You know, they had ground controllers and stuff and they'd be guiding the MiGs, but it just makes it impossible. If you're in a ground attack aircraft, you're gonna get shot out of the sky so easy. They're gonna find you and they're gonna shoot you out of the sky.
Yeah, it's a 2, it looks like that's a 3 ship.
It's not fair, but you know, it's the way it is. You can obviously set up your own tripwires, you know if there's a MiG coming after you, but yeah, not my cup of tea, to be honest. Anyway, it's kind of going to do it for this afternoon. What time is it now? 6. I'll have a peek and see what's going on tonight, and I might stream tonight, I don't know yet. Harrier's really, the Harrier's really loud. But yeah, I had a good afternoon actually. Good to chat to old Sim was the actual Sim Gamer Nerd. It's nice to chat to him. I often watch his streams. He's a nice guy. So it's good to have him in the chat. And it's good to spend the time with the rest of you as well. I think I had a decent afternoon flying. Let's put some music on. I'm gonna go check, see what's going on tonight, and I might stream this later on as well. Maybe not DCS. See how I feel. But yeah, cheers guys, and what am I doing with this? Hopefully I'll see you later on. Have a good weekend. Good chatting to you, Rocks. Alright, see you later, man.